it's really cool how they wrote it, because it first started with Richard Linklater and Kim Kazan writing it, and then they casted Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, and they spent a whole summer just rehearsing it. None of the movie is improv. All of it is written exactly how it's performed.
Oh wow, that's really
cool. And over the summer, they spent all of the summer just practicing over and over and over again. And the actors got to contribute a lot to the writing, because they would say, oh no, my character wouldn't say this. She would like this. For example, Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke were talking about what would get her to get off the train with him. And she was like, I would only get off the train if someone was funny and charming. And he was saying, oh, what about a time travel like that? Talking about that. And she was saying, yes, that's perfect. And then they wrote it.
Yeah, right. Well, great. So listen, here's the deal. This is what we should do. You should get off the train with me here in Vienna and come check out the town.
What?
Come on, it'll be fun. Come on.
The writing was so collaborative, and it's perfect, I think, honestly, just because it feels so real and raw and human. And I've had these conversations, and to see other people have them is so strange in a film format, because I don't think I've ever watched a movie that entirely feels like I'm actually watching two people. The first time I watched it, I was just blown away, and I was walking around in like a state of confusion. I've never watched anything like that. And the second one also, I mean, we haven't gotten to that yet. The first one is just...
The second one's so
and
good.
It's so short.
It is so short.
It's crazy.
It's real time, I believe. I think it is like real time.
Yeah, it is. It is 100% real time.
It felt like even more natural because of the real time aspect. Because it's just like this, realistically, this conversation actually took place over this amount of time. But yeah, the second one, 9 years later, right? I believe so.
All of them are separated by 9 years.
Such a great concept for a trilogy. It's like, what an amazing idea. Yeah. Kind of a risk, though, considering how amazing the ending to the first one is. So, like, addressing what happened kind of like takes some of the mystique out of the ending of the first one. But do you know if they plan to have a sequel?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They originally were planning on making another one. And also, something that's interesting, Ethan Hawke, Richard Linklater, and Julie Delpy, after filming the first one, they were all like, oh, they're gonna get together again. Like, that's something they were all talking about. And they said that the first one was kind of like a test to see if you were a cynic or a romantic in a way.
Yeah.
I do love that I agree with the whole, like, it breaks down the mystique of, like, the ending of the first one. But at the same time, I think just the way that the second one plays out and, like, turns out to be a lot better too. And I just love the ending of the second one too so much too. Because you feel you feel a similar feeling, but you feel a little bit more finality in it. So even if they didn't make the, like, Before Midnight, I feel like I could have still been pretty satisfied with what I saw with those first two.
No, but I'm just hoping that they make one movie every, like, 10 years or so. I totally be okay with it.
It's over now. They're like...
No, I want the Before saga. I want 7 movies.
Oh my god.
Until they're, what, 97? Is that what
exactly.
I think it's so cool. I think it's so cool too that, like, within the 9 years too, like, after 9 years have passed, their conversations seem to be the same. Like, you feel like you're just talking to the same people from 9 years beforehand too.
Oh no, there's definitely growth with the characters, and that's why, like, the second one I could feel growth, especially with Jesse. He turns from a cynic in that first movie to more, like, much more of a romantic.
For
sure. And you see the progression, and you can see how, like, that night changed him and how it, like, affected, like, the rest of his life. And that's what I really enjoyed about the second one, to see the growth in the characters like that.
It's so interesting to see how their lives have shaped from that moment on. It is such an interesting concept, the trilogy is, because obviously the center of it is, like, their romance, but also then you can go on the branches of what their life has become through all those, and it's interesting. Like, he's an author now, and he's in a relationship that he hates, and he has a son, which is crazy.
Simultaneously, and just like for an instant, all his life is just folding in on itself, and it's obvious to him that time is a lie. That it's all happening all the time, and inside every moment is another moment, all happening simultaneously. Anyway, that's kind of the idea.
The reason why I like the first one, I think, more than the other two, not saying that I don't love the other two, because they're all amazing and I love them, but I think the first one is just it blew me away the first time I saw it, so then it just stuck. But even when I saw the second one, oh my god, it's just so good, and there is so much conflict, and you feel for the characters. You're like sitting there when they're talking in the car, and you.
No, I was gonna say the car ride scene might be
so good.
I think my favorite scene in the trilogy. Like it's
so good. Cause you just
the way she like even like her hand,
and that's the callback to the first one, the first movie, where in the train car he does he tries to reach for her hair, and then in the last one in the car she does reach for his hair. Anyway,
but they set Midnight up to be like a breakup movie, like from like just the first conversation and just like the little plants. And they're like, oh god, does this end on like a dour note? Is this what's gonna end up?
Yeah.
And the hotel scene gave me such anxiety because
I know!
I thought they would drop like the directed by Richard Linklater any second. Like as soon as she walked out, I'm like, oh, here it comes, it's over. And then she comes back like, okay. She walks out again, and then they're on the teacup, and I'm like, this is it, directed by Richard Linklater. And it's just don't end like this, please.
Before Midnight and Whiplash are the only two movies that have made me feel that tense ever in my life, which is so weird. But like, I was just sitting there watching it for the first time a while ago, and I was just so tense because I was like, no, we've spent two movies watching them fall in love. We can't watch them fall apart. Oh my god.
I work, I babysit.
Hold on a second, I just have to tune up the string section.
I think one part that sticks out to me that I just really loved to watch, like it was just really interesting to look at, was when both of them are finally going, like they're actually walking on their way to the hotel too. I just really loved watching it. Like it was very, everything around them seemed so like peaceful village kind of area. It was just like really interesting to look at. And then them finally coming back to, it was like them talking about how they haven't had like one of those long conversations in a really long time. And I just thought it was cool because it's like, oh, I feel like they're setting this tone with like helping them walk through this like area, just like the rest of the movies do, where you feel like you're a tourist in a different place again.
How would you rank them, Emma? Like, so Sunrise is your favorite. What would be your least favorite?
I think Before Sunrise is my favorite, but Before Sunset and Before Midnight are tied.
Okay, what a nice cop out.
Well, no, because a part of me is like, maybe Before Sunset then Before Midnight. But then I was like, oh no, but I like Before Sunset as much as
it has different strengths to it.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like, honestly, if you were to say, like, how would I rank all of them? I would probably say they're all tied.
They're all tied. They are kind of like one experience.
Yeah, yeah. It is an experience rather than a film in my, it's like, you're feeling the characters. You're like experiencing what they're experiencing. You're watching two people fall in love on screen and then kind of fall out of love, but then kind of fall back into love.
and then kind of accept what love is.
Exactly. And it's cool. I think that's why it's so hard to rate all of them, because they're just all together.
Wow. You're so smart. Space-time.
Continuum.
Continuum.
Yeah.
Let me sing you a waltz out of nowhere, out of my thoughts. Let me sing you a waltz about this one night stand. You were for me that night everything I always dreamt of in life. But now you're gone, you are far gone, all the way to your island of rain. It was for you just a one-night thing, but you were much more to me, just so you know. I don't care what they say, I know what you meant for me that day. I just want another try. I just want another night. Let me sing you a Out of nowhere, out of my blues, let me sing you